మనం previous session లో in previous session what we have discussed
Audible.
yeah in previous session what we have discussed we need to start collections framework, right?
Yeah.
So collections framework intro I have given, right? Basic what are collections and what are the different types of collections that we have, and under that what are the interfaces that we have. This under the interfaces what are the classes that we have, the basic introduction we have discussed, right?
Yeah.
Collection framework. So now what we can say collection framework, but basically the basic point that you need to remember about collection framework is what in Java the collection framework is a combination of data structures and algorithms implementation. And here the data structures are nothing but like a list, set, queue, map, all these things. And uh, algorithms are searching and sorting algorithms. So all these have been implemented for you as a ready-made implementation in Java as the part of collection framework. And by using these predefined ready-made implementation of all these data structures and algorithms, you can deal with collection of or group of objects in your applications. And always remember one thing, collection framework in Java deals with only objects but not the primitive types. The important point that you need to remember is what collection framework deals with only objects in our applications but not with the primitive types, int, char, float. Like such primitive types we cannot store into the collection objects or into a list or into a set or a queue or map or a stack, anything. So, if we want to store such values into our collection, then what we need to do? We need to create a wrapper class objects for those data types. So wrapper class objects means what? Like integer, character, float, double. For each and every data type, primitive data type, we have one predefined or wrapper class in our applications, and we need to use that. We need to use that wrapper class objects to store uh, into our collection objects. Is it clear? So now,
Yeah.
now let us see what are the methods presented in collection interface. It is the root interface or parent interface in collection framework. Well, if we know these methods, we can use all these methods in all the sub interface objects or subclasses that are presented in the hierarchy. Hmm. So let us have a look, look at collection interface methods. So if we get collection interface methods, here we can observe what are the methods that we have, like public abstract int size. By looking at this names itself, we can understand what do these methods are going to perform, right? So the size means this method gives you the size of the collection. Is empty is used to check whether the collection has any elements or not. Contains method is to search whether the given object is available in the collection or not. Searching contains. Next, iterator, which will give you a cursor to iterate over the list of elements in the collections, all the elements in the collections, so from the beginning to ending, one by one. In a collection, there will be several objects, and all the objects we want to read one by one and process. And then we can take a cursor object on the collection with the help of iterator method. And to array, if we want to convert a collection into array, you can use to array, and the return type of this method is object array. Why? Because collections always store objects, not the primitive types. And when it is dealing with objects, which is the topmost class in Java, parent class of all classes is object, right? That's why they have given object. Next to array, uh, any type array it will take and it will convert into that corresponding array. But anyhow, this we won't use much. These methods will be using object array methods. Next, if we want to add any element to the collection, then add method we can use, and here E stands for element which we want to add into the collection. Next, remove. Remove method takes a parameter of type object. It takes a parameter of type object and it will remove the element from the collection. Next, contains all. It takes a parameter of type contain collection. Here, what it will do, contains also. Contains all method is also used for searching all the elements together presented in the collection. Means if we want to search a sub collection of element, a small list of elements in a large list of collections, then a large list of elements collection, then we can use contains all. Here, single object searching. Contains is for single object searching. Contains all is for multiple objects searching. Next, add all. Add all is used to add multiple elements, multiple collection elements to the existing collection. If we want to add, then add all we can use. Remove all is used for removing multiple elements from the collection. And remove if. Remove if is if a particular condition is meeting such element we want to remove, then we can use remove if. And retain all is a method which is used to retain all this sub collection of elements from the bigger collection. Assume that already 10 elements are there in the collection, and you have a sub collection like with 4 elements. So if you call the retain all method in the bigger collection which is having 10 elements, what it will do, you are passing 4 elements collection here, right? So only these 4 elements will be retained in the original collection, and remaining everything will be removed. Uh, that is the job of retain all. If we see the program, you can understand more clear, I think. Don't worry, I will show you that in our example. Clear is what? This clear method is used to remove all the elements from the collection, to clear off all the collection elements. Next, equals. Equals is used to check whether the collection is having identical, means equals method, to check two collections are having the same methods, same elements or not. Hash code regular. From the object class we have taken this hash code which is returning the hash code of a particular collection object. And splitterator also one type of cursor, just similar to iterator, which is used to uh, iterate over the collection elements. Next, stream and parallel stream, these are also used for iterating over the collection elements which have been introduced from Java 8. These have been introduced. So these are the collection interface methods. But simply if we have a collection interface, we can't do anything. Also under the collection interface, it is interface, it is not the class, right? So we need to have a class. But under collection, what we have, again, list we have. List is also interface only. So with the list also we can't do anything. But let's have a look at the methods presented in the list. If you observe here, list is extending the collection interface, and uh, under the list, if you see the methods, all the methods that already which we have seen in collection interface, all that only are there. Simply see size is empty, contains iterator, to array, add, we have, right, the remove, we have, and contains all, add all. Hmm. But if you see, like, remove, add all, we have, remove, we have, remove all, we have, all the similar methods we have, what we have seen in collection itself. So collection is parent, and the same methods have been inherited into our list also. List is the child interface of collection interface, and along with that, what extra we have in list, we have like get method, set method at a particular point of what, at the particular index, or at the particular position. If we want to add any element, then set element we can, set method we can use at the, to get the element from the particular position in the collection, list collection, we can use get. But this set and get are not available in our collection. No, only add is available. Add means what? It will be adding the element at the end, right? But it is not specified where it has to be added the new element exactly. But when it comes to set method, you are specifying the position or index where your new method has to be added. That one. In the similar way, you have list iterator here, and list, sublist, you have spliterator, you have, and index of means given, but a given object is presented in which position or in which index, that you can identify this index of, last index of method is for searching for an element from the uh, ending of the list collection, or reverse order searching, these methods. So these are the list interface methods. Now under the list interface, what are the classes that we have? Like array list, vector, linked list that we have. So we need to have objects of these classes to see all these methods in action. So now let us see the class definition. Array list we have, which is extending abstract list predefined class, and implementing util.list and random access and serializable. So util.list, it is implementing and random access, right? So whenever it is random access, it allows us to access any element from the list using index. So if we observe the definition of this class, here anyhow, whenever it is class, we need to get the information of the objects, so constructors. So why we need to create object? So to create the objects, we need constructors. So if we observe the constructors here, we can see a default constructor is there, a constructor which takes a parameter of type int that specifies the size of the array list, and array list which takes a parameter of type collection, that is nothing but a collection can be created from another collection. Next, all the methods what we have seen in our list interface or collection interface, all that are there, like is empty, contains index of, last index of, to array, and get, set, add, add at a specific position, and remove object, and clear, add all, remove all, remove it, retain all these are there. Along with that, few extra methods are also we can see here, like a trim to size, ensure capacity. Ensure capacity means specifying the means we can resize the array list. Array list is a dynamic array which can be uh, which can grow and shrink dynamically. So how can we grow or shrink dynamically? By calling the ensure capacity explicitly. Means here uh, by default the array list capacity is what generally 10 elements. If you once array list has been created, if you want to shrink the element to uh, list to 8 elements, then you can call ensure capacity as 8. Then it will become 8 elements list, like that. Or if you want to increase it to 15 elements, then you can call ensure capacity 15. It will increase growing to 15 elements. But of course, this one we explicitly don't call this method. Why? Because even whether you call or not, by default internally, whenever we are adding the elements to the array list automatically increases uh, its size. When see, if initially I have created an array list without giving any size, then what would be the default capacity of this array list? 10. Now, assume that I have stored all the 10 elements into this array list and I am trying to store 11th element. Then automatically the array list will be growing to uh, growing with a size of 5 more elements, and it will be grown to 15 elements automatically. What is the capacity of array list initially? 10 elements, right? It will be increased by uh, half of the existing elements. Means 10 by half in the 10 means 10 by 2 is 5. 5 more elements capacity will be increased in the array list, and the 11th element will be added. Assume that if you have created array list with the size 20 elements, then after adding 20 elements, when you try to store 21st element, add 21st element, then array list will be increased to 30 size. 30 size, like that automatically it will go. That's why we say collections are dynamic arrays which can grow or shrink dynamically. Hmm? Is it clear, guys? Yes, I. Yeah. Now, now let us see a simple example on how do we create array list, and uh, how we are uh, going to write a simple array list example that we see now. How to deal with. So here, public class array list demo, save it. collections. Inside collections, let us save ArrayList demo.java. Now, in the ArrayList demo, what we need: public static void main in args. Now, when we want to make use of collections, what we need to do, we need to import all the collection framework classes, right? So for that, what is the import statement that we need to write? Import java.util. All collection framework is available in util package. So util.star that we need to import. This statement we need to import when we want to make use of collections framework. Okay. Now, here now what we need to create, I need to create array list. Why? Because our demo is array list demo, right? Array list al1 array list 1 equals to new array list. Then like this we can create. Now here array list is getting created with the what is the default capacity? al1 is created with default capacity of 10 elements. 10 elements, right? Now, how to add the elements to this array list? If we want to add elements to this array list, we can add like al1 dot add array. All the collections are heterogeneous collections, means collections can store heterogeneous elements. If it is an array, we can store only one single type of elements. Homogeneous elements only we can store in the arrays. But in array list, means collections, we can add any kind of elements, heterogeneous elements. What are that? Like you can add a string element. String, we can say Rakesh. It is a string, right? al1 dot add, we can store new integer wrapper class objects we need to store, not the primitive values. So integer of 19 or al1 dot add new float of 23.87f. In the similar way, al1 dot add new boolean. The wrapper class objects we need to store, not the primitive type. So boolean of true. Like this, we can add any number of elements. Even again, you can store al1 dot add a string element. What even you can write like a new string of Kiran. So here, what you need to observe, different types of objects we can add to an array list using the add method, and collections always store heterogeneous types of elements, not the homogeneous. Of course, if you store only a single type, that also it will accept, but that is not the main purpose here. Collections are required to deal with different types of objects based on the requirement. So we can take, if we want to deal with a single type of elements, then we can have only arrays. Now, after writing like this, if we want to read and print each and every element from this collection, how to do? So for that, what collection framework has given for us, if you see here, what we said, the iterator method we have, right, uh, which is giving you a cursor to iterate over on the all elements of our collection object, right? There is this iterator method. Here is list iterator. Even iterator also we have. Backward if I do. Okay, it is a parent class, parent interface method, right? Directly we can call. Iterator method we have, right, in a collection interface. This iterator method returns you an object of type iterator interface. In iterator interface, what do we have? We have three methods like has next, next, and remove methods. So using that, we can iterate over all the collection, and we can read each and every element, and we can print them. So how to do that we see. Or a list demo here. Take the iterator it equals to new, sorry, not new, al1 dot iterator. So which will give you a cursor that will let you to iterate over all your uh, objects in your collection. So for example, when you say iterator it is a cursor, which will be pointing or before the first element of your collection. So assume that in your memory all collection objects have been stored like this. Now on top of this, cursor will be placed here, and the cursor is pointing here before the first element. So you need to move to next position from the current cursor position. You need to move your cursor to next position from the current position. So for that, what you need to do, you need to use next method from the iterator interface. In iterator interface, you have three methods. What are that? Next method you have, has next you have, and remove method you have. But before moving to this next position and reading the element from this position, first of all, whether next element is presented or not, that we need to check. To check that, what you can use, has next method. So here we can make use of this has next and next methods with a loop like this to perform complete iteration over the entire list. While it dot has next, and it will move the it will return true or false whether the next element is there or not. But in our case, what does it return now? It returns true. Why? In next position element is there. So when it is returning true, what we can do, we can say it dot next. That means what? It reads the element from the, means it moves the cursor to next position and reads the element from that position. So whenever it is returning that element, how does it return? It returns in the form of object. It returns in the form of object. So create one object reference variable for object class obj or element. Initialize it with null. Now obj object equals to it dot next. Now that object I want to print, that object I want to print, right? So how to print? I can system dot out dot println obj, like this second. Now let us compile and run this application. So open the command prompt, open containing folder in cmd. Now set the path c colon program files java jdk and the bin. Now java c array list demo.java. So it has been compiled. Now java array list demo, enter. You can see all it is printing, right? So in this way we can create an array list and we can iterate over the uh, elements presented in all elements presented in array list. So now in the similar way, what are the other uh, cursor objects that we can get on the array list? If you see here, you have another cursor object like a split iterator, you have list iterator, you have, right? No, anything you can use. What is the difference between iterator and a list iterator? Iterator gives you the navigation in only one direction from the beginning to ending, but a list iterator gives you navigation in both direction, from top to bottom, or first starting to ending, or ending to starting. In either directions you can do the elements. There's a list iterator you can use. So how you can do it? See list iterator interface. First, let us see what are the methods that we have in iterator and a list iterator. Then you can understand what exactly these are going to do. See, if we want to see any iterator or any interface or class method, so on command line, what we need to use? Java p. Java p, java dot util dot iterator. Iterator is an interface, and of course iterator is a method also. Iterator. Now we can see what are the methods we have in iterator. We can see has next, next and remove method, and of course along with that for each remaining, it is introduced with the newer versions, but anyhow iterator interface methods are these. And then another interface is what? List iterator. Another interface is list iterator, right? Java p java dot util dot list iterator. If you see here, all the methods has next, we have remove method is also there, but along with that, what else we have? Has previous, next index, set, add, like this we have different other methods, so that you can move the elements, move the cursor front to back or back to end in both the directions. You can move when you are using this list iterator. So using list iterator, we can let us write a simple example to navigate in both the directions. List iterator. Now come to our program. Here what we can do, we can take list iterator lit new list iterator. Now already obj is there, right? So while what we can say lit dot has next, same code we can write to loop over the elements from the beginning to ending. So obj equals to lit dot next, then system dot out dot println obj. So here what we are doing is system dot out dot println list iterator top to bottom elements. Next, same thing. Now in a reverse order, we'll print after see after completing this while loop. Where do the cursor will be pointing? Next to the means next element means next to the last element it will be moved. Now next it will be at last element, right? Now we want to get the elements from last to first. So here what we can do, list iterator bottom to top, bottom to top. Here let me write do while do while so what is the method that we have here? Previous previous method we use. While lit has a previous. Okay. So instead of not required, the regular while loop only we write. Lit dot has previous. As previous, then get the previous element. Previous element and print the object. So now let's run the application and see how this list iterator is working. Java C dot Java C array list. One error. What is the error? New list. Okay, sorry, it is not new list iterator, right? It should be taken from AL AL1 dot list iterator. The method what we need to use, we need to use list iterator. This method we need to use, right? This list iterator. we cannot create direct objects for iterator and list iterator. We need to invoke the method, corresponding method on the collection object, and we get. Now, run the application. See, first Rakesh 90 to 23 to like this in a forward order we have, right? Now in the reverse order, it is printing Kiran true like this and Rakesh, right? Top to bottom and bottom up we can print collections in different orders. So this is about iterator and list iterator. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, we pass here today, Sai. Tomorrow we'll continue with further constructors and methods in a collect list, and we discuss vector also. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Tomorrow same time we'll continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.